Hi there, I'm Joe Medforth, here for Go Think Big and my own blog, Music Movie Man. And I am here with Mark Eshleman. Am I saying that right?
Eshleman, that's good.
Eshleman, Mark Eshleman, creative director for 21 Pilots. He was kind enough to come out and answer some questions after the 21 Pilots show in Manchester tonight. What I wanted to ask you was, you basically, from what I know, started out really small in Ohio, you know, just filming local bands, building up a show reel. How has it felt, basically, coming from those small shows and being with 21 Pilots for more or less their whole journey, as is said in a video I've seen, going from audiences of 5 to 5,000?
It's actually funny because right after the show we went to the green room and Tyler was watching a video of the 1975, which is a band here for me. And we were just looking at how big their shows are getting and how good the album is. And we've done a few shows with those guys in the States, and they're releasing these live videos or just tons and tons of kids showing up to shows and stuff like that. So like, you really got to take a step back to realize how far you've gone, because there's always going to be competition ahead of you. So like, we have like the 1975 that's like doing their thing that's a little bit bigger, and like Bastille is doing their thing. They're like, there's these bigger bands that are surrounding us. So like, we kind of lose track of how much we've grown. Not that we don't appreciate it, it's just like you lose track of that. So when we do sit down, and like not too long ago we were looking at a hard drive of old footage from 2011 when we did like a really, really crappy headline show, or headline tour throughout all the Midwest, and just seeing like us go through, like I was filming the whole time during sound check, and they're like setting up these speakers, and like one of them's blown, so they have to like go there, and then some like a house guy says, oh, I got a car stereo in my car, let's go set that up. And so basically you're running car stereos as mains and stuff. So just to go back, it's very humbling at the same time to see, like, watch us work through everything, because that's all we've done. We've worked through everything, and I'm very grateful for the platform that 21 Pilots has put me on by having me around since like 2010. So the fact that they keep me around and let me kind of venture off when we're not touring to work with other bands that we meet on tour, it's just more than I could ever ask for. So it's very cool to be where we are, and it's very cool to see where we're going too.
In regards to what you have done and are still doing with video work for the band, have you always pre-production planned it yourself, shot it yourself, and then afterwards edited it yourself?
Right. Yeah. At the beginning, it was, especially like 2010, 2011, it was just me with like a DSLR, and we would just kind of shoot as we go. And whenever we would do a music video, it's like I would sit and playing with Tyler, and it was very like unprofessional. It was just he had an idea, and we melt those ideas together and have a product. And so it was just me shooting. But up until recently, I was able to reach out to a few of my friends, John Flanagan II and Lindsay Flanagan. They're a married couple from New Bremen, Ohio. They make the hour and a half, 2 hour drive to Columbus every once in a while, or to Detroit, wherever it be, to work with me on the filming side. So I got to a point, the Guns for Hands music video was the first time where I didn't touch a camera, and it was just them kind of placing cameras and based off my direction. Yeah. So I got to hold the clipboard and take a step back and really focus on the big picture while they figured out the exposures and all that kind of stuff for me. So that's definitely where I like to be, is kind of just because it helps you work on the idea, but at the same time, it's very challenging and rewarding to get good documentary stuff. So that's just me grabbing a camera, following Tyler and Josh around. So in early March, I'm going with Paramore to do their Parahoy cruise, and so that's going to be all doc. Not much pre-production, I just kind of have an image, whatnot. So that's going to be taking the camera in and just capturing as much footage as possible. But I don't know, it's fun still. Hopefully I'll be to a point where I continue to still edit. That's my favorite thing to do, is edit on my own. So in my room, I have the 2 monitors and the MacBook, or the Mac Pro Tower, and I have the editings and the monitors and all that, sound monitors, all that hooked up, and like I just really get in the zone there and like find the story and work on the edits. So I can imagine, I've got a friend that I mentioned earlier who did Holding on You, Jordan Bahad. He goes into like a studio and works with an editor, and he kind of suggests things, and that's just, I just never saw it to be that way. Like I always imagined it more like hands-on. You know, you can do good both ways, but I just prefer my way.
Filming with Paramore on this Paramore tour, will that be, obviously you've worked with plenty of other artists, you know, before and since 21 Pilots and during. Will it be, is this the first sort of other major label band that you're going to be working on stuff for?
No, we did, there's a Columbus band called Beartooth who's on Rebel Records, Also, Five Knives is on Red Bull. I've done something for them. I like the Red Bull camp. Their drink and their label.
Oh, okay.
So
there are other energy drinks available.
I like this guy. He just takes initiative.
He really is. Yeah, I'm happy with it.
So those are a couple from there, and Paramore's like one of the bigger ones I did. I've done behind the scenes stuff with fun. They don't even know who I am. So this will be the first time it's like a big, respectable band. And we just got off tour with them in Australia.
Oh.
So Josh, Tyler, and I would spend after shows going and hanging out with Jeremy, their bass player, and Haley, and Taylor, and John, and Justin, and Aaron, all the guys that are in the band, with Chad and Eddie, all their crew guys were all there hanging out. I know those are just names, but I wanted to mention them. But so we'd hang out with them like in their hotels and get dinner with them and stuff like that. So like, it's really not a big deal. And it is, but like to me, it's just kind of like those are some friends of mine, new friends, and we get to work together. And that's one of my goals, is to befriend everyone I work for. I don't want to like just have my head down and just like work with bands and try to work with more popular bands and like blow off this band because they're not signed yet and work with this other band because they're signed. Like all of my work has just been through friendships. So like Beartooth, Caleb Shomo, their lead singer, like I went to his house, hung out in his basement, and he was just like, here's the idea, and I'm like, oh, here's an idea, and he goes, here's an idea on top of that, and so we just stack ideas. So there are plenty of directors that live in LA. They kind of set up the scene and they kind of do the pre-production. The band rolls their own tour. They have a day off. They shoot it, and the band leaves. And sure, the band sees the pre-production and stuff like that, but it's just not what I'm looking for. You know, I want to sit down with them, just like all these other directors want to, but I want to be sure I'm able to pull that off. It's just sit with them, discuss the idea. I mean, car radio was all in Tyler's mind. He had that idea when I first met him in 2010, and the idea was to have it in a living room of a house. So he was in the bathroom, he shaves his head, puts the mask on, goes out into the living room, it's a house party, does the breakdown or whatever, and at the end, pulls the mask off, the hair's back, and the house is empty. But a couple of years later, 2012 maybe, we have an LC Pavilion in Ohio that's 2,200 cap room, whatever, that we were able to do it. So, I mean, it's just cool to collaborate, and that's very important for what I do.
Okay.
Sure.
Well, two more questions, and
Sure.
you actually led on to the next question I was going to ask.
Perfect.
It was regarding car radio. I think it's one of the, probably the best music video I've seen in the past. No, seriously, because it grabbed me.
Have you ever seen MIA's Bad Girls?
I have not seen that video. No.
Well, look that up. MIA Bad Girls. That music video is what makes me just want to quit sometimes when I watch it. It's
Okay.
Romain Garvis. I'm probably saying his name wrong because I've never met the guy, but he's just amazing. So look that up. That's the best music video. But I'll take second best.
Well, yeah, coming
Nothing
from...
shameful with silver.
No. I'll take silver. I mean, the U.S. took bronze in hockey today.
That's very true.
So I can take silver, I guess.
Yeah. It's the kind of video that I see, and this is coming from someone who has never made a music video, a concept music video like that. Yet, exactly. I have not.
It's very easy.
I just wanted to ask what making it was like for you, and realizing those ideas that you heard, all the way back in 2010.
Yeah, it's my favorite moment is in the editing room, like I said, and seeing it all come together, and like pushing my chair back, and I'll like cover my mouth and stuff, and like I'm in my room by myself, and I'm getting teary-eyed and stuff from edits, and I'm not trying to think that like in that moment I'm not like, oh my god, I'm the best, I'm the best at this. It's not like that. It's just strictly personal goals of like just when you see your project kind of up the most previous thing you've done, and to be able to see that in the car radio edit was mind blowing. And then I live with Tyler, and he's 2 floors down. He sleeps in the basement. He has like a finished basement, and I sleep on the 2nd floor. And so I'll either text him or run down there and get him and bring him up. And he will watch the edit, and he'll replay it and watch it, and replay it and watch it. And so I don't know. That was just the coolest moment. Is we didn't really like look at each other and be like, we did it. Since 2010, we wanted to do this idea. It was just kind of like, okay, it's done. Like, how do we make this the best online? How do we get the most views? And how do we share it in the right way where the audience feels a part of it? And so, I mean, just having the city of Columbus participate, from the hometown participate in that to make it what it was, it's just unbelievable. Because they all killed it. They were just perfect. So it was great.
They all killed it, and you all killed it. And final question. If you had any advice for someone like me who wants to, you know, do what you do, because there isn't necessarily jobs out there yet. It's a very, you know, you can go from photography to filming bands and stuff like that, or you can, you know, be lucky enough as it was for you, you know, and really focus on one band and work with it like that, and you know, and absolutely, you know, follow them on the roller coaster, as it were. What advice would you give to someone who wants to, you know, be creative like this and do work like that?
There's a couple steps. The first, for sure, is to make sure that you're in love with it. It just has to be exactly what you want, and you have to be able to just do whatever it takes to do it. And then, secondly, it's just to do it like you love it, but do it differently. There's plenty of people that try to recreate looks and try to ask what cameras people are using and try to buy those cameras and regenerate and recreate and all this stuff. And that's just not the case. Like, you just gotta grab whatever you can and just think about it. Like, what happens if I put this lens on the back of a plastic bag and break the lens, and like all this kind of weird stuff. And what happens if I run this through a VHS player and then hit the VHS player against the ground while it's recording? Like, just kind of weird stuff that just makes you want to just rethink everything. And if you do that, and if you're happy with what you're doing, someone's gonna notice it. Someone once told me that the videography and photography world is so jam-packed that there's absolutely no room for anyone, but if you're good at what you do, there's plenty of room for you. So there's everyone just trying to enter it every day, and they just fall on their face. The people that actually try hard and respect the art and really dive into their personal emotions and pull that out and throw it up on the TV screen or whatever, computer screen, those are the ones that make it and do it well. And so, very lucky. Use the word lucky, and I love that you use the word lucky, because that's how I feel about it. And I just have to, I mean, those guys, Tyler and Josh, they keep me on my toes, because they're going to keep growing. They're doing all these different TV events, doing festivals on main stages and all that. We just got news in regards to a festival down south in the States that they're doing an incredible slot that I can't tell yet because it's not released, but it's just like we all looked at each other and just gasped. So the fact that they're doing that keeps me on my toes to kind of step up my game. And that's about it. It's just, you gotta love it.
I hope you do, and we all hope you do, because you're doing some fantastic work. So
that's cool to hear.
Thank you so much for the interview.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. Thanks so much for your time.
Thanks for your camera work.
Thanks, Tom.